event came to be because in 2003, I met a guy in Memphis during Elvis Week named Gene Hodge. And we talked, and I was telling him a historic event that happened in our town. And then the next year, I talked with Danny and BRYAN, and we kind of formed a pact to try to get something started here. And in 2005, we had our very first show.
Originally, the whole thing was to celebrate the 50th anniversary of 1955, when Elvis performed in Sheffield, Alabama 3 times with the Louisiana Hayride Show.
Well, they invited us about 4 years ago, and we enjoyed it so much that we've been coming now for 4 years, and they keep inviting us, so we keep showing up.
I actually was in a contest, and my first contest, and I won it, and somebody came and attended it that was involved with this, and so they called me up a little while later and asked me if I would come up here and be a part of this, so I said sure.
Terry Paget had was telling me about it, and he got me in touch with Jerry Russell, and I sent Jerry my stuff, and Jerry called me and he said, well, come on to Sheffield. I said, all right, I'll be there.
This was the location where it had to be, and I was way up there in Chattanooga, SODDY Daisy, and he was way down here, and so we conversed several times over the phone, and so it was the motivation and the inspiration to do something for Elvis, to continue his name on, and to bring all of us Elvis people back together.
To be honest with you, I think just word of mouth, and it got back to Jerry Russell, and he called me 2 years ago to be part of it, and I'll be back whenever he wants me back.
Jerry Russell, who was running this, saw me at the tent at Graceland and invited me down here, and that's how we got down here.
Well, what happened was Mr. Brian Clark, who you saw just perform, recommended me to Jerry ahead of time. I didn't even know about it until I went to Memphis, and because Brian was like, I don't know if I can get you in, but then when I got back to the tent from being at a hotel, he said, you're in, and so I owe it all to Brian Clark to being able to perform here. It's an honor.
Jerry has kept in touch with me, and I forgot how he got my name the first year, but he contacted me the first year to do this, and I said, yeah, I'd be more than happy to come down and do that, and that was the first experience I had doing it up here in Sheffield, and then he asked me to come for the November event last year. I think the first event I did was in the springtime or something, and then he asked me to come back for the November one last year. And then he contacted me a few months ago and asked me about coming back again for this one.
I did a show in Bruce, Mississippi about 6 months ago with Mr. Mitchell Johnson, and Mitchell, I think, gave Mr. Jerry Russell my name. They kind of went on the internet and researched me a little bit, and I got a phone call, was asked to do it, and I'm so glad I did, and I hope I'm here for the many years to come.
I guess word got around, and Jerry called me one day out of the blue, and I still don't even know how he got my number, but he called me and invited me to it. It sounded like a good time, so I've been coming ever since.
From sitting down at Elvis Week throughout, every August, met up with Jerry Russell, and now he invited me to come out here last year. This is my second year here, so it's great to be here.
I know some friends that come here every year, and basically, I was supposed to come last year, and this is my first year here, so I'm really excited about it.
Well, Mary Benson, who does my scarves, told me about it about a year ago, and hooked me up with Jerry. And Jerry called, and I sent him a little video or tape or something, and invited me to come, which is, I'm excited to be here. It's like family.
I connected up with Mary Benson, who does scarves, and she added me on Facebook, social networking at its best. And she sold me some scarves, and then she mentioned, come on down to Sheffield, Alabama, and I got in touch with Jerry Russell. Jerry Russell gave me a call, and the rest is history.
I was in Tupelo, Mississippi, and Mr. Jerry saw me out in the audience and come up to me and asked me if I'd come down here. And 2 years later, here I am. There I was.
Several years ago, my friend Drake, he's like 2 or 3 years younger than me, he was coming to perform here, and so we drove up and he performed, and they didn't come back, but we came back every year since then, and he got out of the Elvis thing, but I just love it. So I love the family that we made over here throughout the years.